Chapter 9. Soil. Let's begin. The most important natural resources lie just beneath your feet. Can you guess what is this? It is the soil. As you can see from the picture, soil is not just a layer of mud, but actually it is filled with life. It supports a wide variety of insects, reptiles, worms and many other animals. Soil also provides essential nutrients to the plants to grow and thrive. For example, carnivores feed on herbivores. The herbivores, in turn, feed on plants which grow in the soil. Thus, all living beings on Earth are directly or indirectly dependent on soil. Let us know more about soil. Soil formation. The uppermost layer of Earth's surface is called soil. It is a thin layer of minerals which include sand, mud, rock particles, and a layer of dead and decaying plant and animal wastes called humus. A layer of soil as little as 1 centimeter can take 500 years to form. Soil formation is a slow and stepwise process. Soil is formed by the weathering of rocks and minerals. Weathering is the breakdown of rocks on the Earth's surface caused by the exposure to natural forces such as wind, frost, etc. Weathering of rocks can take place in 3 ways. 1. Physical weathering. During physical weathering, the rocks get disintegrated into smaller pieces over a period of time under the influence of processes like freezing, thawing, drying, shrinking, and swelling. It involves mechanical changes without involving the chemical composition. 2. Chemical weathering. It is the decomposition of rocks through a series of chemical processes in which existing minerals are broken down into new minerals. So, chemical nature of the rock changes. Water is one of the main agents of chemical weathering. 3. Biological weathering. Biological weathering is caused by living organisms, mostly plants and microorganisms. The roots of the plants penetrate into the rocks in search of food and nutrients. During this process, they widen the cracks, resulting in breakdown of rocks. Algae and lichens grow rapidly on the surface of rocks and decompose the rocks by secreting certain acids. The process of weathering can be divided into 3 stages. Stage 1. Weathering, be it physical or chemical causes, parent rock to disintegrate into smaller ones. Stage 2. These smaller rocks continue to wither, thus allowing a very fine layer of rock particles to be formed on the Earth's surface. Microbial action adds humus to the soil, thus making soil a fertile layer. Stage 3. Minerals and salts seep down into the ground along with water to complete the formation of soil and make it usable for plant growth. Soil profile. Due to physical, chemical and biological activities taking place during the soil formation, different layers of soil are formed one below the other. Typically, 4 distinct layers are formed which can be seen clearly. These layers are marked as horizones. A vertical section of soil from the parent rock, showing the different layers of soil or the horizones, is called soil profile. Or horizon, it is the organic layer lying above the topsoil, made of leaves litter rich. A horizon or topsoil, it is the uppermost dark-colored layer of soil which is rich in humus. It is porous and has good water-holding capacity. Earthworms, bacteria and fungi are present in this layer. In this layer, seeds germinate and plants' roots grow. B horizon or subsoil, it is reddish-brown in color containing higher mineral content due to the presence of iron oxides and clay. C horizon, it is called regolith which contains partly weathered pieces of rocks. Roots of plant cannot penetrate into this layer. Bedrock, it is the lowermost layer and mainly consists of the parent rock. The properties of this layer determine the composition of the soil. Types of soil. The mixture of rock particles and humus is called the soil. The difference in particles size of the various soil constituents gives rise to a property called texture. The easiest way to identify soil type is to wet it and roll it between your fingers. 1. Sandy soil. 2. Clayey soil. 3. Loamy soil. If it is pale brown and gritty, then it is sandy. If it is flaky and dark, then it is loamy. If it is shiny brown and makes a silky coating on your fingers, then it must be clay. The main constituents of soil are silt, sand, clay, gravel and pebbles. The different proportions decide the formation of different kinds of soils. Table 9.1 Composition of soil. Particles. Diameter in mm. Silt. It consists of little bigger rock particles than clay. This soil makes excellent farmland and gets blown away in dust storms. Its size lies in between 0.00 to 0.05 mm. Sand. It is coarse in nature, as a result of which there is lot of empty space between the particles, which is filled with air. Plant roots cannot hold onto this soil. Its size lies between 0.05 to 2.00 mm. Clay. It consists of very fine particles which are packed tightly. No air can get in from the surface. Water is held in between the gaps. This type of soil is unfit for plant growth. Its size is less than 0.002 millimeters. Gravel. It consists of larger rock particles. Fine pebbles. 2.00 to 5.00 mm. Medium pebbles. 5.00 to 20.00 mm. Coarse pebbles. 20.00 75 mm. Loam. It is the best soil for plant growth, which has the proportionate amount of sand and silt along with little clay. Plants' root can easily penetrate into it. Other particles that may be present in soil are water, air, humus and living organisms. Table 9.2 Comparisons between sandy, clay and loamy soil. Sandy. Clay. Loamy. It is made up of large particles with large air spaces. It is made up of fine particles with smaller air spaces. It is made up of particles whose size is between that sandy and clay particles. So the particles have right amount of air spaces. It dries up easily. Its porosity prevents retention of water. It retains moisture and becomes sticky when wet. When dry, it becomes hard. It is porous in nature and holds moisture in it. It is well suited for fruit and vegetable cultivation. It is good for making earthen pots and other pottery items. It has high humus content. It is good for cultivation of crops and gardening. Properties of soil. The soil has special properties towards water and its ability to retain it. These properties are as follows. Absorption of water in soil. Different soils have different water holding capacities. If the soil does not hold water, the plants would need frequent watering or they would die. The amount of water a particular type of soil can absorb is its water absorption tendency. Higher the absorption of water, higher is its availability to plants. Moisture in the soil. Amount of water present in soil is called the moisture content in soil. The amount of moisture present in clay soil is highest and that in sandy soil is lowest. Percolation rate of water. The rate at which water moves through the soil is called percolation rate. Different soils have different percolation rates. Percolation rate, ml per minute, is equal to amount of water, in ml, by time taken to percolate, in minute. Soil erosion. The removal of topsoil by wind and water is called soil erosion. It is a natural occurring process. Removal of topsoil reduces the productivity of the soil roughly at the same rate as soil is formed. Soil erosion is more common in areas which are not covered by trees or grass and are bare. In the absence of vegetation, topsoil loses hold and gets easily blown away. Causes of soil erosion. Soil erosion can occur due to the following reasons. Deforestation. The cutting of trees on large scale is known as deforestation. When trees are removed, soil particles are left loose and can be blown away either by running water or wind. Overgrazing. Repeated grazing by cattle on the same patch of land over a longer period of time and makes it easy for wind and water to erode the soil. Floods and heavy rainfalls, they both wash away the soil, especially when there is no vegetation on the land. Improper farming. Improper farming such as excessive plowing on hills makes it easy for wind and running water to erode soil. Soil conservation. There are few measures which can help in preserving and conserving soil erosion. The process of protecting soil from any damaging activity and erosion is called soil conservation. Reforestation and afforestation, planting of trees on a large scale on deforested land or planting of trees in large number where there were no forests previously. Building dams. Flood-like situation can be prevented by building dams or mud walls around the hill slopes. Terrace farming. This method should be adopted in hilly areas. Suitable crops are grown on a series of steps like benches. This will reduce the speed of water which flows down, thereby reducing the soil erosion. Preventing overgrazing. Overgrazing by animals results in the removal of the green cover on the land. The green cover on the land is protected only by reducing overgrazing. Control of soil pollution. The major sources of soil pollution are improper dumping of sewage and garbage, acid rain, chemical leakage from factories, excessive use of pesticides and fertilizers, use of plastics and polyethylenes. The following measures will help to control soil pollution. Instead of using chemical fertilizers and pesticides, use of organic pesticides and fertilizers is recommended. Animal and domestic waste can be used to produce biogas. Liquid wastes from factories and mines should be properly treated before releasing into the soil. Solid waste should be recycled and proper measure for its disposal should be adopted. Reducing the use of polyethylenes and plastics as they destroy the fertility of soil. They should be avoided mostly and recycled as much as possible.